Alright, so per popular request, I'm gonna do a little gear setup here. We're gonna do a little fluking and a little sea bass today. So I have a BullBay Tac-X 7 foot, medium heavy. It's rated for an 8 to 17 pound test. So this is gonna be my main fluke setup, which y'all see me fishing from shore with. Just a couple little jig heads on that. Alright, so that was a little clip from one of my videos in the summertime when I went out fluking. That's when I really started trying to use this BullBay a little bit more. So background is I got this rod last December. Tried to use it a little bit when I was going togging, but it was kind of towards the end of the season for me. So yeah, this was the first full season of me trying to use it as a fluke and a towel rod, right? So right now I'm walking on a pier. I did use it from land, did use it from the ocean, and definitely has some different results. I think it can be used for both, honestly. So yeah, I just want to show some clips from the gear and some of my catches and for you guys to see the action, and then we go from there. So we'll tune in when I'm trying to catch a fluke from the pier, which is definitely an interesting situation considering how tall that pier is from the water. So let's just talk stats a little bit here. So I got the 7 foot 8 to 17 line rated, but that goes for a lure rating for 3/8 ounce to 3/4 ounce. So why would I use that in the ocean? Because I want that sensitivity, especially if I'm using this for light jigging, not going over 1.5 ounces of a jig head for fluke, and then for tog as well. I usually use about 1.5 ounces. So yeah, check out the action.
There you go.
Man, it was little. That's hope. That's time.
Hey, you're not skunked.
I'm not skunked.
It's gonna get bigger, right?
Yep. Little bigger. Alright, so now we switch over to trying to use this rod in the ocean. This was that video from the Gypsy that y'all remember. I dropped so many fish. It was a struggle bus, but I did land a couple. I probably could have had a whole limit that day, but I just kept dropping fish because I did not understand how to set the hook on an extra fast action tip when I'm very used to the slow pitch stuff.
That's real quick.
So you'll notice on this fish, I lean back pretty heavy. So that was my way to compensate. Granted, I was fishing the pulpit of the boat. It was a rocky day. I was actually sick that day. I was trying my best to balance. So the lean back hook set, it worked. That looks pretty. Maybe? I can't tell. So now we're fast forwarding to about July. At this point, I'm on Fishmonger. I'm still using it for fluke, another ocean trip. If you notice, I'm missing the big guide. Actually, on that Gypsy trip, I broke it. I was having a hard time with balance, and I kept trying to grab the rod to bring the fish to pulpit. So there you go. So that was one downfall that I noticed with the Tac-X. Those guides are so freaking sensitive. There's no wiggle room. There's no like support. And I end up getting this fixed by a friend, Curly Custom Rods, and he gives me the double bracketed big guide at the bottom to help in the future. But I end up getting the Tac-XR with the recoil guides that are a little more flexible and something that I can take on party boats with more confidence and not worry about it getting destroyed. I love this rod though.
This one's swimming, right?
Yeah.
Good fish, girl. Good fish.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Kate.
That's freaking up. All right. So now we fast forward to a couple of days later. Actually, this might have been the next day in July. I'm in Rhode Island. And at this point, This was probably the largest fish that I caught on this rod. So it was about 5.5 pounds. Again, getting used to the hook set. I got a lot better at it after practicing on a couple of more trips, and I was able to put a little more oomph into it and get used to the bite detection.
So you've been fishing?
I've been fishing. It's been slow in Jersey.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I did get my limit on Tuesday. So what you'll notice is with a lot of these hook sets, especially with these softer tips, that's the way that I learned how to set the hook with the slow pitch. Keep the rod bent. I don't pump when I'm using spinning rods because I want to keep that rod bent and keep that pressure on the fish, especially when I'm using these softer tip rods. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, I'm actually fishing with a slow pitch rod. Nice.
Got it. Now you got it.
Yep.
That's the right kind.
This is the right kind. All right. So here we are, fast forwarding again further into the summer. It's probably August. I'm on full strike charters out of Keyport, New Jersey. And yeah, same thing. You know, I was pecking away at keepers between 17 to 19 inches. And then I said, hey, I want to catch a 5-pounder on this rod and feel what it feels like. So let's go. And that's what I hook into here. And yeah, the drag is peeling. I probably could have dragged a little bit tighter, but I'm running 15 pounds. Let's freaking go!
That's what you want, right?
That's what I wanted.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Nice one.
All right, so this is when I finally get to test this rod on a biggin. This was a 7-pounder. And what's interesting is if you notice between the last clip and this clip, I had a Vanford. That Vanford could not even handle a couple of 5-pound fish. The roller bearing popped off when I was on a trip on a big Mohawk on a 4 and some change pound fish. So I did upgrade, got a twin power, and fighting the fish on this rod and reel combination made it feel like the fish was 4 pounds. I mean, it really wasn't fighting that much at all. Had it hooked perfectly, and like I said, I'm starting to figure out the hook sets as the months went on. Sorry. All right. Limit. And that's when we say, but wait, there's more. Yeah. Ended up catching an 8-pounder on this rod. Completely surprised me. Again, sensitivity wise, I just barely felt that line move. So I did a gentle lift to see if I felt a little bit of weight. I felt a little bit of weight, and then boom, I set the hook. This fish was a run for my money. So, you know, it'll definitely be interesting to see what it feels like to catch a 10 on it, a 10 plus. But the backbone held up. As long as I keep, you know, the right angle on that rod and keep that pressure on the fish, we were good. And last but not least, I'm going to show a short. And why I'm going to show that is, again, sensitivity. There was another point in this trip where I literally caught a 2-inch brigall. I felt it bite. So all in all, this is a Tac-XR with the recoil guides. Exactly same, but again, rated up to 3/4 ounce. But I like throwing up to 1.5 ounces on it. If I push it to, but you know, when I'm togging, I'm using crabs. You know, when I'm fluking, You might have a strip that adds a little extra weight. Throwing anything more than 2 on it just doesn't give the right action to me when I'm jigging. So what would I say? Is this rod worth $400 or $500? The Tac-X is $400. The Tac-XR is $500. Personally, I talk about this all the time. I fish really light yet strong gear because I have a lot of injuries, right? Some shoulder injuries, some wrist issues. So for me, having stuff that I can fish all day is so much more worth it than trying to get this big, heavy, beefy rod that my arm's going to get fatigued trying to hold it all day and trying to jig with it all day, especially from a fluking perspective when I'm doing some rapid jigging. So for me, I like it. I like this arsenal. It works for me. I like that 15 to 20 pound braid. So I run PE line. So most of the time that is way thinner than what we'll get from different brands. So yeah, I'd say if you have the budget for it, you like fishing lighter rods, give it a dangle. You never know what you'll catch, but it definitely can handle some bigger fish. So I'm excited to try and catch a double on it. So thanks for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what kind of gear you guys like to fluke and tog with from a jig perspective. All right. Until next time, peace and God bless.